Okay, here we go.
Okay. Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this thing.
I loved it.
It can be really difficult. It can feel isolating. It can feel very frustrating. It can feel like no one understands that it's just super challenging. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to get over this. I don't think I'm ever going to get past this.
It's super discouraging. Like, you get that mental monster that says you can't do this.
It feels really uncomfortable. I've been a Christian for a really long time.
I've been rock climbing for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now, just on and off.
My name is Katie Hale. I have been married for 11 and a half years, and I have 2 little boys. They're 8 and 6.
My name is Declan Goddard. I go to school at Front Range Community College. I've lived in Colorado for 4 months now, moved from Minnesota, so.
The wall stage of faith is the part of your faith where you kind of hit this wall. You realize that all the stuff that you've been doing up till this point maybe doesn't serve you anymore and is not serving the community around you, and so you start to question.
Project in rock climbing it's a difficult route that you feel like you can push yourself to get to the top of, but it's also not something super easy that you can do on the first try. Like you want to be able to work at it.
I would say the wall does not look the same for every person.
Projects are definitely different from person to person.
The things that bother you and the struggles that you have might be different than the ones that I have.
Everyone has their different strengths in certain areas, so a project could differ greatly.
The term, the wall, in this concept was actually developed by 2 psychologists, by people who've studied it a lot, so it's not something that maybe someone just came up with. There's a lot of really good data and really good research behind this subject.
People write tons of books, make tons of movies, and obviously some big names in climbing. Some of the most professional rock climbers, they work with these guys to make awesome films. Project is just a word that's been thrown around in the climbing community.
I do think there are levels of faith. When someone first believes in Jesus, they're going to maybe act and see the world a little bit differently than when someone has really taken their faith seriously.
Yeah, there's tons of different levels to climbing. There's tons of different styles to climbing. There's a whole bunch of different grading scales, and they vary wildly because each person, again, has their different strengths and weaknesses.
Being at a certain level of faith, it doesn't make anybody better or worse. It doesn't mean someone has it together more than the other person does.
I would say climbing different grade levels, if you can climb a lot, like super hard, obviously you open your doors to a lot of different routes. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't have fun rock climbing. It's totally fun to just hop up on the wall and see what you can do.
I've definitely experienced my own wall in my stages of faith, and I think I'm kind of hopefully getting out of one right now, just saying, this doesn't align with this, and I don't really know what to do with that right now. So I have been working through that the last couple of years.
I think the best project that I've done in the past would be Chinese Freedom at Red Wing in Minnesota. Me and my buddy Michael just went down just to try and bust it out. I gave it probably 4 or 5 tries, like frustrating tries. I was about to call it quits, but Michael said one more. I gave it that one more, and it went, and it was super cool. One of the best feelings ever, for sure.
I feel like I'm getting out of it. I feel like I have more peace about those things.
So yeah, it's very easy to get stuck on a climb. So help is definitely needed.
It can be really helpful to seek advice from someone who's gone before you.
It's sometimes easier to see it from the ground, like what to do. If you have that support group around you, that knows how to climb.
Help is tricky to find. When you're in the wall, it feels really hard to get advice from someone else unless they've been there and done it with you or have gone through their own experience.
Helpful tips on like how to do certain routes is what we call beta. Beta is sort of a touchy subject because half of the fun in rock climbing, for me anyway, is like figuring it out on your own.
When you find some good advice and some good help, it can help a lot.
There's certain times when you get hard stuck and you just need some help, and beta is totally fine. It's nice to be able to get some help and get up a wall as opposed to not get up a wall, but it's hard to be fully present with someone you're also listening to from an outsider.
I think the role of community and faith is hugely important, and I think it's something that maybe some of us don't take as seriously as we should.
The role of community in rock climbing is super important.
Bruh! Well, I wanna
It's a video, dude.
Oh.
It's recording right now.
Oh, sick.
We were not built to do this life on our own. We were not built to just kind of float through life and do our own thing. God made us as relational people.
Rock climbing obviously started by looking up at mountains and saying, ooh, what if I was standing up there? Doing something like that is just impossible to do by yourself.
There's lots of research if you want to get scientific about it, but there's also a lot of stories too about how people need each other.
You need someone else to make sure you're safe. You need people in this sport.
I can't stress enough how important it is for us to find people that think the same way we do, that struggle with the same things that we do, and that ultimately can help us.
It's super, super important to surround yourself with nice people and good people and helpful people. The sport of rock climbing is a great one in that it picks out people that want to help each other and want to be nice and want to be good. Community is definitely one of the most important parts of rock climbing for me.
Things that are worth it are hard. If my faith is easy, I don't think my faith is very impactful for my life.
There's this saying in rock climbing that if you're not falling, you're not improving. You need to be trying at your peak level to be able to improve. And if you're not improving, I don't feel like you're having the most fun.
Deck's up there. Top of pitch 2. Just set up the belay at the tree.
I think it's really important to keep persevering. Life is hard, it's not easy, and if we always expect things to be cushy and simple and non-complicated, then we miss the really important parts that bring a lot of joy.
It's fun because you know you're getting better. If you gave up on a climb after you tried it once just because you couldn't do it, you wouldn't be able to ever climb at an extreme level.
Everything is going to present problems, but it has been 150% worth it.
Rock climbing has really made me learn about myself, about my values. It's taught me a lot.
This feels to me in my deepest of who I am, like this is the right thing.
You know deep down that it'll go if you keep trying.
Looking at people in Jesus' eyes, giving them the love that he did, doing the things outside of myself and giving and loving in such a big way, that has been one of life's greatest gifts.
We really had to do our own research and find our own path without much guidance. That was something that I can really be proud of, the fact that I explored this pretty unexplored sport in terms of where I was living, and I was able to turn it into something that I feel like I know a lot about. So.
It's like a ladder, but it's not. We have ropes.
Ta-da!